कैमरा।
छोटू है।
Good evening, students. Good evening. I now declare the SPJIMR Annual Convocation 2022 open. Yay!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Chairman of SPJIMR's Governing Council, Mr. Deepak Parekh. Our chief guest, Managing Director and CEO of Mahindra Limited, Dr. Anish Shah. And our Dean, Dr. Varun Nagaraj. Welcome to all three of you on the stage. A very warm welcome to the graduating students, their families, our esteemed faculty members, staff members, and all our guests to this beautiful, albeit muggy evening. It will get better as the breeze comes through. Please take your seats, everybody, and keep your phones on silent. I am Vinita Dwivedi. I'm a faculty here at SPJIMR, and it is an honor for me to present to you the most awaited ceremony of the year, our grandest event, the SPJIMR Annual Convocation 2022. So as you know, SPJIMR has turned 41 years this year, and we are proud to be consistently ranked as one of India's best business schools. Today we celebrate the success of our brilliant students and send them out to their bright futures. So let us begin with an invocation prayer. I'm inviting PGPM student Shivangi Rathore and PGPDM program coordinator Jayashree Iyer to come here and sing the Saraswati Vandana for us.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषार हार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you, Shivangi and Jayashree. That was a very beautiful, lovely rendition. So to begin, I now request our chairman, Mr. Deepak Parekh, to address the gathering, sir.
Our chief guest for the evening, Dr. Anish Shah, our younger than ever Dean Varun Nagaraj, faculty members, professors, teachers, parents, and dear students. To the graduating class, congratulations. You're a bunch of very lucky kids. Lucky because the past two batches had their convocations online, on Zoom. You not only get to celebrate this momentous occasion together, but the palpable excitement I see in this hall will eternally remain etched in your minds. Yes, it has been a long, tough road ahead, but you have made it. You all have made it, and kudos to you students and those who helped you get here where you are today. Your professors, your faculty members, your parents, your friends, and well-wishers. I always look forward to convocations, perhaps because I never had one myself. As an inspiring chartered accountant in United Kingdom, all I had was a long wait for a dull brown envelope to come through the mail. A heavy envelope, if you received a heavy envelope, you have passed the exams. And a light one meant you had to sit the exams again. I guess I was fortunate to get a bulky one, but I never got the experience and excitement of a convocation ceremony like you all here today. Enjoy this moment to the hilt. You'll never get this moment again. Well, graduating students, today is about you and your big day. And I have my job cut out, which is to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Anish Shah, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Mahindra & Mahindra Limited. What I will not do is to introduce Anish through his extremely impressive CV. Instead, I will tell you why we chose Anish to deliver this convocation address. For starters, we know he's instantly a relatable person to youngsters, for he is one young person himself. He's one of the youngest CEOs amongst the large Indian corporates. Suffice to say that he is uncomplicated and a smart Mumbai boy. His mother and father also are from IIM Ahmedabad, as he has been. So obviously there's more than just good genes. Anish has had an enviable academic track record and an equally impressive work profile. His vast experience, work experience across several geographies around the world when he was affiliated with GE, the famous company GE, has held him in good stead. But what is more impressive is his conduct, his vision, and his grasp on new age leadership skills like technology, like inclusivity at the workplace, climate change, amongst others. As a leader, he stands out from his peers with his PhD. He has a PhD on corporate governance, which is the buzzword in the Indian corporate sector today. So he walks the talk. The message I want to give you is what is important in life is not the position of power, but one's character. More importantly, how one treats people. I have interacted with Anish in his early days at GE, where he spent almost 14 years with the group. There was no doubt about his experience, his competence, and his ability of being able to get along with people. So when he moved to the Mahindra Group, he knew he was being considered as a next-gen leader. My closest observation of him was during this critical period when I was a director on the board of Mahindra & Mahindra, and he was, so to speak, waiting in the wings for his leadership role. Succession planning is always tricky. You need continuity for an organization. And yet, when there are two leaders, one the outgoing one and the one incoming one, which was Anish, you have to strike a balance. And you have to have the tenacity to work in tandem with each other. And Anish did that brilliantly. I could see it as an outside independent director. I was very impressed the way he handled the situation. And he conducted himself during this intervening period where he was CEO select, identified as a CEO, but not yet there. He was patient, he was observant, he was a good listener, and he worked on he worked to expand his domain knowledge in a large, very diversified organization. He crafted his own vision and strategy for the group to make it future ready and demonstrated his ability to carry people along with him. These are finer nuances that distinguish true leaders. Such leadership skills takes time to hone, calls for relentless work, hard work, and needs an uncompromising moral compass. This is the best way I thought of introducing Anish this evening. The reason why I chose to highlight his traits is for all of you to be more conscious. And I want all of you to be more conscious of these finer nuances in business, in companies, and perhaps use these as guideposts through your journey through life, when you build your own dreams, when you build your own future. I'm sure Anish will have several insights to offer as he shares his perspective of what the future holds for this graduating class. Outside of the workplace, Anish is a crazy cricket fan like I am, and an American football buff. He's passionate about team sports, but in equal measure recognizes that it is teamwork which differentiates winners from losers, both on the sports field as well as in office. He's also a foodie. He enjoys his food. He's a connoisseur of good food. And I'm told he relishes the Bombay street food, the vada pav and the bhel puri and that kind of thing. He's also as excited about the traditional South Indian cuisine, as is he with a meal by a Michelin chef. So that's an eclectic palette. He's up to date with movies. He's also up to date on travel. He likes to travel. Lastly, let me assure each one of you that future of India is extremely positive and promising. Don't look at temporary sentiments across stock markets today and get disillusioned. Over my 50 years of work experience, markets always get into a tizzy every now and then, but they also recover very fast. This volatility is due to a confluence of geopolitical concerns, tensions particularly. China's slowdown due to COVID-induced lockdowns, supply chain disruptions, and rising inflation, leading to cost of living increases across many nations, which is going to bring down the global economic growth this year. Yet, we in India remain the fastest growing major economies in the world. We have unquestionable political stability. We have vaccine security. We have sufficient cushion of foreign exchange reserves. The global demand for Indian skilled workers has never been so robust as we see now. And our digitization initiatives, both by the government and the private sector, have brought significant gains. To support our knowledge economy, we need to build our physical infrastructure at a much faster pace. In sum, I can't think of a better time than to be young in India today. Do remember, what you learn is not as important as how you learn. There are many new professions opening up for all of you. Emerging areas that we have never imagined would open up in the past. Beyond the known, like AI, robotics, digitech, meta, sustainability, and the list goes on and on. It is up to you to keep your learning curve steep. Have fire in your belly. Constantly arouse your curiosity and stay networked and keep an open mind. Your time has arrived. You have tailwinds to help you, and the world is looking at India as never before. Undoubtedly, all of you have a very promising future. But as I said, it is better to hear this from our chief guest today. Over to you, Anish, when your time comes to speak, and I'm sure he will ignite this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parekh. What a wonderful speech, as always, sir. Thank you so much. We will be waiting for Dr. Shah to speak, but in some time. First, I would now request our Dean to deliver the welcome address for this convocation today.
Good evening. A warm welcome to Dr. Anish Shah, our chief guest for the evening. Anish, it's a pleasure to have you here with us, and we eagerly await your life experiences and stories that you'll be sharing with our participants. A warm welcome and many, many thanks also to Mr. Deepak Parekh, who is the chairman of our governing council. Deepak, you are a legend in Indian business, but more importantly, I think you're a good mentor, an advisor, and a friend to me and to the SPJIMR community. Thank you, sir. And to all my faculty members and my colleagues, my staff, and my students, the armies that have worked relentlessly to put this evening together. Thank you so much for making this evening happen. Truly, there is no SPJIMR without you. Okay. Thank you. To the parents, family members, and friends who have accompanied our participants to share in their joy today, it is my honor to welcome you to our campus. And finally, to our participants, my wonderful participants, as I see the sea of shiny, happy faces, welcome. Today is your day, and your day alone. Okay? Now, SPJIMR, as you know, is known for its dedication to teaching and perhaps an over-fondness for using frameworks for every occasion. So I think it makes sense for me to structure my talk today using a framework that was proposed by one of the greatest teachers of all time, Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda. And Master Oogway, the wise, says the following: yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. And that's why we call it the present. So let's reflect on the gift of today as you're here. This is your day to soak that experience in, to live the moment, to live today. So do that. This is an exercise you're used to, so close your eyes. Come on, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel that breeze against your face. Feel the energy and chi of your friends and your well-wishers around you. Feel the fact that this is your day. And now think. Think that today is possible because of what happened yesterday. So think about all the people in your lives that made it possible for you to be here today. Think of your parents. Think of your childhood and college friends. Think of your teachers. Think of the neighborhood uncles and aunties. Think of the occasional kind strangers. All of them played a part in you being here today. Think of them with gratitude. Now, open your eyes and let us gaze fearlessly at the future. Let us gaze fearlessly at this mystery that you're going to be walking into. I know that each of you will create your own path. Each of you will blaze a trail that is new. Each of you will craft your own life story. But I hope that as you do so, I hope that as you build your own life stories, as you build and live your successful careers, you do keep a few things in mind. I hope you're always guided by a sense of purpose in what you do. I hope you're always guided by a desire to make a difference. And given that I have to provide some fundas during this speech, I hope you're always guided in your professional life by a North Star that I'm going to suggest to you today, a North Star called Advancing Wise Innovation. So what is this North Star that I'm proposing that you follow? What is Advancing Wise Innovation? The world is VUCA. You know that. This we just have to live with. This we cannot change. It is the world we have been given. But the world is also imperfect. The world is unjust. And this we do not have to live with. This we can and we must change. Now, how do we address imperfections in a VUCA world? The answer is through the careful application of innovation. Innovative solutions, things that address our big problems today, but do so in a manner that is creative, that is fresh, that is novel, and that is new, is really what is needed to address these imperfections. Now, solutions will not solve anything if they sit on PowerPoint slides. For a solution to actually make a difference, for a solution to actually solve a problem, the innovator who came up with that solution needs to be relentless in their pursuit of advancing that particular innovation. And you will be trying to advance it in the face of resistance and in the face of great barriers. Now, advancing innovations is all well and good, but a word of caution. We know that innovations oftentimes make things worse. We know innovations often don't address the problems they were meant to address. We know innovations create new problems. And so we shouldn't be in the business of just advancing any old innovation. We should be in the business and have the desire to advance what we would call wise innovation. So what is wise innovation, and how can you live a life as a wise innovator? May I suggest a simple three-step process approach to becoming a wise innovator? First, look for information from all and every source that you can get your hands on. More information is good. As the Rig Veda says, and I hope my Sanskrit isn't too bad, Ano bhadra kritvo yantu vishvataha. And what does that mean? It's a recognition that great ideas and thoughts can come from anywhere, and it is your responsibility to seek those ideas from multiple sources. It is your responsibility to go meet people who are different from you. It's your responsibility to have communities that are vastly different from yours. You should have the courage to sit with and talk with people that you vehemently disagree with. You should look for information sources that challenge the basis on which you were raised. This is how you build a wide, diverse, and inclusive set of information that you can then act on. And a lot of this information will be false and fake, so you need to have the good judgment to be able to decipher legitimate information from illegitimate information. So collecting information broadly is all well and good, but until you interpret it, until you make sense from it, it just remains information or data. So how do you go about making sense in a wise manner? Making sense in a wise manner requires you to let go of your biases. It requires you to drop the lazy heuristics that allow you to get to decisions quickly or to get your presentations done quickly. That will not serve you well. It requires you to tap into your feelings. It requires you to tap into your emotions. It requires you to tap into other people's feelings, into other people's emotions. It requires you to tap into the lessons of history. It requires you to reflect, to think, to take time, and not jump to judgment. As a wise man once said, to go fast, sometimes you need to go slow. That ability to reflectively interpret the information in front of you is what will make you a wise innovator. And finally, you as a wise innovator need to be aware of the implications of your actions and the impact of your actions. Whether you believe in the Vedanta or whether you believe in complexity theory, we know we live in an interconnected world where everything impacts everything else. And as an innovator, it is your responsibility to understand the implications of the actions that you take. It's your responsibility to understand who you're impacting with what decision. And it is your responsibility to be empathetic and to actually care about what the outcomes might be. You need to let your moral compass guide you as well. So this is a three-part approach, a simplified three-part approach to making sure that in your day-to-day activities, you function as wise innovators. And the outcome of this wise innovation will be solutions that you produce throughout your lives that are net positive, that meet the so-called triple bottom line of benefit to yourself, benefit to society, and benefit to the planet. Now, throughout your careers, I hope you will use this North Star of advancing wise innovation to make the world a better place. Just imagine you were at Swiggy. What would you do differently to minimize the environmental impact of that entire business model? Imagine you were at Facebook. What would you do differently to minimize the impact of many of these capabilities like that seem to demean people and that break people's individual ambitions and aspirations and cause grief? Imagine you were at WhatsApp. What would you do to stop the spread of malicious and bad information, which is so easy to do today? Imagine you were at Byju's, and imagine that you were given the challenge, not of it appealing to more rich kids and advanced kids, but of building a profitable business that addressed our rural youth, of building a profitable business that addressed the rural skills gap and created rural unemployment. In almost any role that you take, my dear friends, you are going to have many, many opportunities to craft solutions to such wicked problems. You are going to have many opportunities to drive wise innovation throughout your lives. Now, I do not propose this North Star to you lightly. Indeed, SPJIMR as an organization is committed to advancing wise innovation. Advancing wise innovation is how we achieve SPJIMR's long-standing mission, which is to influence practice and promote value-based growth. A mission, our mission, is about our purpose. It is the reason we exist. It's the reason we come to work every day. That remains unchanged. However, for a mission to be accomplished, one needs a mechanism, one needs a North Star that propels us in that direction. And that North Star, that propulsion mechanism for us, will be our collective desire and our collective commitment to drive wise innovation as an institute. So you will see it reflected in our curriculum, you will see it reflected in our faculty research and thought leadership, you will see advancing wise innovation reflected in the roles that our 4 centers play to create ecosystems and companies and organizations that are committed to that same cause. But most importantly, I hope we will drive wise innovation through you, our participants, our pride and joy. You are SPJIMR's force multiplier. It is mostly through you that we at SPJIMR will make a positive difference to the world. So go forth and live a life of purpose. Go forth and make your alma mater proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Varun. I think this message of advancing wise innovation will stay with us, and we will work towards it. Now, let's start the presentations. And the first things are Dean's top honors. So, Varun, I would like you to come forward to give the Dean's top honors, please. I will call out the names, not in order of rank, but roll number wise. And DTT winners of each program will come. All the students who are coming up, you know where you are. Kindly cross-check once more that you're standing. Please stand up and in your ascending order of roll numbers. Okay, are we ready? All right. Also, there's one request that if you are also an award winner, you know you are. So please stay behind the stage so that you can come back up again later on. I will start with the PGP DM program and Kripa Shankar Narayanan. Next is Rajat. PG MPW batch 2021, please get ready. Let's have Sneha D on the stage, please. Anisha Lal is not attending today. She is also in the Dean's top 2. Next is the PGPM batch 2021, Dean's top 10, Abhijit Kumar Mishra. Scholars, you can come through the main staircase right in front of the stage. Next is Abhishek Chatterjee. Please keep coming forward. Next is Shri Sagar Akash Ambadas. I can't hear any applause. Thank you, that's nice. Next, Arjun Khanna. Come on, Arjun. Ashish Malik. Devajyoti Chatterjee. Yeah, that's more like it. Harsh Srivastav. Sameer Wadhwani. Satrajit Goho. Ian. Next is Muhammad Yunus Salman. PGMP batch 73, please get ready. PGMP batch 73, Saptarshi Chakrabarti. Shivam Gupta. Udit Agarwal. PGEMP batch 74, Sujata Day. Vignesh M. Siddhesh Parulikar. PGEMP batch 75, Sayanta Ghosh. Piyush Modi. Vipul Rathi. Let's hear some applause, guys. PGMP batch 76, get ready. Deodatta Chausalkar. Madhukar Dhingra. Sanat Pradhan. PGMP batch 77 is next. Prashant Kachru. Jaimin Narendra Bhai Pancholi. Kunal Sengupta. Last but not the least, you're not going first. This is roll number wise. PGDM batch 2020-22. Aditya Krishan Kedia. Alice Jain. Sayyida Farheen Fatima. Vanshika Khaitan. Have some more juice. I should hear some applause. Vivek Agarwal. Anjun H.M. Ghanshyam Jitendra Dave. Nikhilesh M. Parni Gupta. Prachi Daga. Rishabh Mahajan. Amruta Samir Kulkarni. Amulya Mahajan. Arshi Gupta. Ishna Dhar. Pranay Dubey. Ryan Neeraj Pandey. Shikhar Mohan Srivastava. Medal winners, please stay back. Vishal Sardana. Manan Varvan. Manisha Gupta. Last but not the least, Rahul Lakhotia. Big round of applause, please. Thank you and congratulations, DTT winners. Now we are moving to the presentation of scholastic gold medals. The medals are being awarded in recognition of top achievers in our different programs. May I now request our chief guest, Dr. Anish Shah, to present the gold medals. Sir, if you could come forward in the presence of our chairman, Mr. Deepak Parekh. Sir, yes, sir. This is a picture opportunity for our medal winners and, of course, the Dean, Dr. Nagaraj. This time, I'm calling out the names of the awardees in order of their ranks. Are we ready? Great. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present the batch toppers, starting with the PGPGM program. The rank 1 winner, Tripurari G, is not attending today. Next is PGPDM batch 18. Rank 1 is Kripa Shankar Narayanan. From the PG MPW batch 2021, rank 1 Sneha D. PGPM batch 2021, rank 1 goes to Debajyoti Chatterjee. And the next is rank 2, Shir Sagar Akash Ambadas. It's a heavy load to carry. PGEMP batch 73, rank 1, Shivam Gupta. PGEMP batch 74, Siddhesh Parulikar. PGEMP batch 75, Vipul Rathi. PGEMP batch 76, Madhukar Dhingra. PGEMP batch 77, Jaimin Narendra Bhai Pancholi. PGDM batch 22, rank 1, Shikhar Mohan Srivastav. It's too heavy for him. Rank 2, Nikhilesh N. And we have a tie on rank 3, jointly won by Rishabh Mahajan. And also at rank 3 is Arshi Gupta. Big round of applause, please. Thank you. Congratulations, everyone. I also just want to mention that our Dean's top honors for the PGM batch are to Tripurari Ji and Pratik Tiwari, who are not attending today. Thank you very much, Dr. Shah. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Parekh and Dr. Nagaraj. Now, I request you, all three of you, to sit in block E on the left-hand side. For the rest of the ceremony, we will have the certificates distribution now. So I hope everybody knows the number of graduates this evening is the highest ever. It's 570 in total. Sir, in the history of SPJIMR? No? Okay. All right. We shall now be awarding the certificates to the graduates. The respective chairpersons and program leadership teams from the 7 programs will do the honors. First, inviting the program which is receiving its degree for the first time at SPJIMR. The fellow program in management. Our first doctoral scholar has completed his research journey, requesting program chairperson Dr. Snehal Shah to kindly come on the stage. And the fellow program certificate goes to Ambika Prasad Nanda. Big round of applause, please. A first FPM degree, Ambika Prasad Nanda. Thank you both. Next is the 2-year postgraduate program in general management, PGPGM, for working professionals. I invite chairperson of PGPGM program, Dr. Rupal Walia Sharma on stage. Program coordinator, Ekta Saxena, will call out the names of the scholars.
PGPGM graduating batch 2, please rise. Sajal Agarwal, Alok Kumar Balihar Singh, Himanshu Bhatt, Samir Kumar Mishra, Yash Mittal, Krunal Dilip Kumar Shah, Om Dutt Vashisht.
That was good. Thank you, Rupal, and thank you, Ekta. Now let us move to the next program, PGPDM, 18-month modular postgraduate program for development management. Requesting program head, Dr. Tanuj Kumar Meshram, along with SPJIMR's Head of Center for Innovation in Sustainable Development, Mr. Prabhat Pani, to come on the stage, please. Program coordinator, Jayashree Iyer, would be reading out the names of the graduating students.
Thank you, ma'am. PGPDM graduating batch 18, please rise. We begin with row D01, Kripa Shankar Narayan, Rajat Shahi, Gunjan Kakkar, Janmajay Samal, Nishant Pratap Singh, Parag Gopal Panchabhai, Sarika Hulsulkar, Siddhant Khurana, Sneha Bajaj, Vaishali Jadhav. Row D02, we have Venkatesh Kharge, Devyani Tyagi, and Imran Anwar Ustad. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Next is PGMPW, the 11-month full-time postgraduate management program for women. Requesting program chairperson Dr. Ashita Agarwal along with associate program head Dr. Amit Jain to do the honors. Program coordinator Ms. Mansi Parab will read out the names.
PGMPW graduating batch 2021, please rise. We begin with row C01, Sneha D, Aparna Roy, Arpita Arya, Ayesha Bharucha, Ekta Arora, Harika Karanam, Ketki Shah, Mayuri Wankhede, Neha Jajusomani, Namrata Bhatavrekar. Great. Row C02, Nishita Rao, Paridi Badhani, Radhika Subramanian, Richa Sharma, Sangeeta Das, Shivani Chaturvedi, Shivani Chaudhary, Shubha Sinha, Shweta Mahajan, Simpi Roy. Row C03, Smriti, Snehal Bhatnagar, Soumya R, Shrishti Dubey, Supriya Ghanekar, Swapna Maktal, Vandana Surve, Shruti Gupta.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mansi. Now, our one-year full-time postgraduate program in management for executives, PGPM. Inviting Chairperson Professor Neelendra Singh Pawar along with Associate Program Head Dr. Sridevi R on stage to give the certificates. Program Coordinator Ms. Tripti Vyas would read out the names.
PGPM Graduating Batch 2021, please rise. We begin with row D17. Debajyoti Chatterjee, Akash Shirsagar, Abhijit Kumar Mishra, Abhishek Chatterjee, Arjun Khanna, Ashish Malik, Harsh Srivastav, Samir Wadwani, Satrajit Goho, Mohammad Yunus Salman. Row D18, Abhishek Chandra, Ajit Nambiar, Aman Chadda, Amey Khot, Ameya Khedkar, Amit Thadani, Aninda Prasad Ghosh, Anish Manchali, Apurva Jain, Arka Roy. Row D19, Arnab De, Arun Vamshi, Ashish Kumar Rath, Ashutosh, Baba Priya Mishra, Binodini Behra, Chayan Narang, Craig D'Souza. Row D20, Deepak Chauhan, Divyanshu Gupta, Eldos John, Giriraj Mehta, Ishan Sharma, Ishan Rastogi, Jivesh Anand, Ketaki Chitle, Madhav Udeshi, Mahesh Madhukar. Row D21, Manek Khadiali, Manish Kumar Singh, Mohit Agarwal, Mrinal Singh, Narayana Raju, Nilap Kumar Rai, Nirav Shah, Nirmalendu Samant, Nitish Mahato, Parmit Singh. Row D22, Shalini Jha, Shimani Yadav, Shreya Malhotra, Sushmita Kushari, Tanuja Naik, Teja Sawant, Tushar Mathur, Vaishali Hariramani, Alvin Davis.
Row D23, Amrita Krishna, Ankita Singh, Himanshi Saravgi, Kavya Shah, Kritika Mahanta, Manju Krishnan, Naveen G, Neelam Shah, Pankaj Bhatt. Row D24, Poojan Bhatt, Prabsahil Singh Chinna, Pradeep Kakade, Prashant Tripathi, Pratik Mittal, Praveen Chandra Upadhyay, Punit Walia, Purnanil Ray, Rahul Gupta, Rahul Singh Thakur. Row D25, Rakshit M, Ranjan Sahu, Ravi Kachawa, Rishi Kumar, Rishav Sarkar, Rohan Mahajan, Rohit Pothuru, Sahil Sharma, Sanjay Kadel. Row D26, Sanket Chawre, Saurabh Jain, Saurabh Bandari, Saurabh Sahu, Mohammad Shah Nawaz Ansari, Shashank Sharma, Shraddha Mohanty, Srihari Naganur, Shubham Singh, Shubham Jain. Row D27, Shubham Mittal, Smith Yash, Soham Salui, Somak Pal, Somadatta Nath, Sauptik Basu, Sunil Kumar, Vishesh Mangal. Row D28, Vishnu Gopinath, Vivek Shankara Subramaniam, Vivek Singh, Vaibhav Jatana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trupti. Now, for the biggest batch, the 2-year postgraduate diploma in management, PGDM. Requesting Program Chairperson Dr. Sajeev George to come to the stage along with Associate Program Head Dr. Aditi Devatia. Program Coordinator Sunita Pujari to read out the names of the graduating students.
Graduating batch PGDM 2022, please rise. We begin with row C04. Shikhar Mohan Srivastava, Nikhilesh N, Rishabh Mahajan, आरशी गुप्ता, आदित्य केडिया, एलिस जैन, सईदा फरीन फातिमा, वंशिका केतान, विवेक अग्रवाल, अंजुन HM। रो C05 घनश्याम जितेंद्र दवे, पर्णी गुप्ता, प्राची दागा, अमृता समीर कुलकर्णी, अमूल्य महाजन, एशना धार, प्रणय दुबे, रायन नीरज पांडे, विशाल सरदाना, मनन वाधवन। रो C06 मनीषा गुप्ता, राहुल लकोटिया, आगम अनीश जवेरी, आशना बंसल, आयुषी केतन जतानिया, अभिजय गिरी, अभिषेक चक्रवर्ती, अग्रिमा गुरनानी, आइबिन आइजैक, अक्षिता शाहानी। रो C07 अमृतेश श्रीवास्तवा, अंकुर जैन, अरुण मोहन रॉय, अरविंद चक्रवर्ती, आशीष आनंद अग्रवाल, भरद्वाज रेड्डी, भरत दागा, भवधारिणी रामस्वामी, दीप तारका भट्टाचार्य। रो C08 धैर्य कीर्ति मेहता, एकता कुमारी दुबे, गरिमा पांडे, हर्षा चौधरी, हीना अमरीहीन, इशिता हेमांग भाई शाह, कपिल जयेश देसाई, रीना शाह, कुणाल बालकृष्ण शेट्टी, मधुर कपूर। रो C09 वेंडावागली मनसा रेड्डी, नीहा रंजन पानीग्रही, पी आदित्य पी वेंकटरामन, पराग अग्रवाल, प्राची तिवारी, प्रतिष्ठा रुस्तागी, राहुल दुग्गर, रजत जितेंद्र जैन, रश्मि शर्मा, रिया लांबा। Row C10, Rohan Singh, Rupal Chavan, Rishi Sunil Deshpande, Sachin Agarwal, Sagar Gupta, Saurav Dubey, Saurav Jain, Shevi Jyoti Sharma, Sharanga Bora, Sharmishta Shil. Row C11, Shashank Mishra, Sri Lakshmi VN, Shreyas Rajeshwar, Siddhartha Biyani, Sneha Budhia, Varun Kakkar, Vinay Rawat, Vindhya Arora, Abhishek Sharma, Abhisht Joshi. Row C12, Aditi Rathore, Adyasha Sahu, Ahana Sarkar, Akshat Vassal, Anurag MN, Arjun Tomar, Ashish Aswal, Ayush Aman Gupta, Charmi Naren Shrivastava.
Now I request Professor Aditi Diwatiya. Thank you very much for giving out the certificates so far. And I request Dr. Sapna Malia, the Associate Program Head of PGDM, to continue giving the certificates from the other end of the stage.
Row C13, Deba Priya Paul, Devdutt Bosu, Disha Chauhan, Isha Jain, Hari Ramachandran, Himang Agarwal, Kamal Gupta, Mehek Sarda, Manan Pandey, Mohammad Salman Hossain. Row C14, Monica Gundimeda, Ninad Rajiv, Paras Grover, Parth Tushar Kanakia, Pani Krishnan Srivastava, Rashi Gupta, Rashika Agarwal, Ruchi Malik, Sai Prashant, Saksham Maheshwari. रो C15 शांभवी गुप्ता, सौरव अवसरे, शायोनी दत्तरॉय, शिखर सिंगर, शुभम सिंह, स्कंद प्रकाश काळे, सुगंधा मोहन, सुमंत आहूजा, सुमित गुप्ता, सुशांती रेड्डी. रो C16 तनुजा पचीसिया, तरु जैन, तुहीन भट्टाचार्य, उत्कर्ष श्रीकांत साने, नव्या गीतिका वनपल्ली, विख्यात KS राव, यश केडिया, युक्ति उप्पल, अभिषेक बांग, आदित्य तेजा मलापका. रो C17 अक्षिता त्यागी, अंकुर अग्रवाल, अंतरा घोषल, अनु अब्राहम, अत्रेयी भट्टाचार्य, आयुष कुमार अग्रवाल, भूमिका राजकुमार कृष्णानी, भूषण AVS, देबाश्री मिश्रा, जेकॉब सनी. रो C18 जतिन जोत सिंह, कार्तिक शर्मा, लक्ष्य ग्रोवर, मोहक चावला, निहारिका नांग्या, नित्या मोहता, P लक्ष्मी नारायण पात्रो, पार्था प्रतीक मिश्रा, प्रणीति दुर्गापाल, प्रियंका गौतम. रो C19 राहुल अरोरा, परुचुरी रामकृष्ण प्रसाद, ऋत्वी अतुल चोकसी, साधना हरीश, साग्निक अधिकारी, सारंग कबीर, सायली पांडुरंग महाड़ी, सीमंती घोष, शाह चिंतन कुमार दिलीप भाई, साक्षी सोधानी. रो C20 सताक्षी वर्षे, शिरीन पॉल, शुभम विनोद कोल्हारीकर, शुभांगी गुप्ता, सिद्धार्थ वासु, सिद्धार्थ शंकर, शौमिक दलाल, सौरव पानीग्रही, श्रीलेखा मुत्या, पेबिसेटी श्रीनाथ चक्रवर्ती. रो C21 सुरभि विनोद वालावलकर, सूरज रायना, स्वामीनाथन पशुपति, वैभव मल्लिक, वैष्णवी खांडेलवाल, विदित विष्णु कुमार तलसारा, विघ्नेश जयरामा, विवेक तिवारी, अभिनव शर्मा, अभिषेक शर्मा। रो C22 अभिनाश स्वैन, आदित्य गोयल, आदित्य जितेंद्र जैन, अमृतपाल सिंह, अरविंद रेड्डी, आसिन गुहा मजुमदार, अवनी जैन, भरत एन शास्त्री, भव्य कन्नन, चिराग बत्रा। रो C23 देविका वालिया, दिव्या शिखा, इशिता शर्मा, पतनानी चिराग राजू, गरिमा, हेमांग पंडित, इंद्रायसिस मिश्रा, जेहाद शकील देशमुख, जूही नीलेश आद्या, कैवल्य गिरीश देशपांडे। रो C24 कुशाग्र श्रीवास्तवा, मानसी वर्मा, मोडुपुल्ली मुरली कृष्णा, मुदित शेख सरिया, नीना अनु जोसफ, पूजा गुप्ता, प्रगुण सूद, प्रांशुल गुप्ता, प्रिया चनानी, पूजिता सुबा, वर्षिनी। रो C25 रजत सेठी, रंजीत गोपाल कृष्णन नायर, राशि अग्रवाल, ऋषभ गुप्ता, रिया प्रकाश आहूजा, साई प्रशांत शिरदर, शांतनु अतुल कपोल, शेफाली गुप्ता, श्रेयोशी मुखर्जी। रो C26 श्रेया सुमन, शुभम गुप्ता, सिद्धांत विजय, सोनाली अग्रवाल, श्रीजा घोष, सुचरिता एस, श्वेता ओम प्रकाश गोकर्ण, तरन तारन सिंह आनंद, वर्षा नाथन, राधिका महेश्वरी। रो C27 सूरज देशमुख, हृदय मैनी, अनुष्का बोरा, निखिला गंता, करण संपत कुंभार। Thank you.
Thank you, Sunita. Thank you, Sajeev and Sapna. Everybody, participants who have received their certificates, please settle down. Please go back and sit on your chairs. Next is our 2 decades old, 21-month modular postgraduate executive program, PGEMP, for working executives. Request Program Chairperson Dr. Anshul Verma and our Associate Dean Professional and Executive Programs, Dr. Preeta George, to come to the stage, please. Students of PGEMP can collect their certificates and other documents after the ceremony is over. As you can see, there's a big queue, so we will postpone your giving away your documents a little later, okay? All right, I'm requesting Program Coordinator, Ms. Urvi Shah now to come on the stage and call out the names.
PGEMP graduating batches, please rise. We begin with batch 73, row D04. Shivam Gupta, Saptarshi Chakrabarti, Udit Agarwal, Pankaj Agarwal, Parth Arwadia, Ritesh Jayantilal Dedhia, Mayur Dharwadkar, Ajay Moses Dongarkar, Vivek Ganga Khedkar, and Sanjay Ghemang. Batch 73 participants from row D05 and row D06, please come on stage after I read out your names. Amit Ghosh, Jahan K. Jokhi, Anish Joseph J, Kailash Kedar, Yogesh Kulkarni, Amit Sahaji More, Saurabh Patel, Pavan Kumar Rai, Sushant Rastogi, Vaibhav Sharma, and Suresh Rambhilash Yadav. We now move on to the participants of batch 74 in row D06. Thivakar Anantaraman, Sunny Barjatia, Manik Bhatnagar, Durva Damle, Vaibhav Dombe, Boina VDV Lakshminath, Anjali Joshi, and Afroz Khan. Participants from row D07, Siddesh Parulekar, Sujata De, Vignesh M, Abhishek Khatri, Ajit Kumar, Vishal Kumar, Dhiru Kumar Meher, Abhishek Parashar, and Rachit Parikh. Batch 74 participants from row D08 and row D09. Vipin Pawar, Raja Rajan, Pradeep Kumar SG, Dhyaneshwar Sonavane, Ayushi Srivastav, Nitin Anand T, Digambar Tambe, Saurabh Tuteja, Vinnakota Jona Jairaj, Kiran Kumar Vaikos, and Yadav Raj Bahadur Shaligram. We now move on to batch 75. Participants from row D09, please come on stage after I read out your names. Shri Ravikant Alavelli, Vivekanand, Rama Asija, Ishita Chakrabarti, Soumya Chaudhary, Anju Dinesh, Rohit Goyal, and Ashish Gupta. Participants from row D10, Vipul Rathi, Sayanta Ghosh, Piyush Modi, Rahul Gupta, Siddharth Iyer, Ferris Anthony J, Jalan Jacob, and Jasmeet Singh Jha. Participants from row D11, Urja Kulkarni, Mithilesh Kumar, Mayank Merchant, Sandeep Naikare, Vipin P, Arzu Panchal, Rajit Saikia, Shikha Pandey, Amol Pawar, and Vishal Radadia. Batch 75 participants from row D12, Aman Kumar Rutla, Mohammad Mushin P. Salim, Puvada Satyaswarup. We now move on to batch 76. Participants from row D12. Arjun A, Aditya Basak, Abhishek Nandakumar Bhale, Pritesh Kamlakar Bhole, Sameer Kumar Bobde, and Manu Chaudhary. Participants from row D13, Madhukar Dhingra, Deodat Cholsalkar, Sanat Pradhan, Suvakar Ghosh, Arun Girdhar M, Akash Jain, Naveen Kumar Katla, Chandan Kumar, Vaishali Lohia, and Sai Maurya Madrasu. Batch 76 participants from row D14, please come on stage after I read out your names. Anurag Mishra, Vaibhav Nandkishore Pathak, Ankit Rajesh Chandra Shah, Shubhani Sheikh, Abhishek Kumar Singh, Sunil Kumar Tiwari, Kunal Varshne, and Komal Abrol. We now move on to batch 77. Participants of batch 77 from row D14 and D15, please come on stage after I read out your names. Sameer Sudhir Chaudhary, Jaimin Narendra Bhai Pancholi, Prashant Kachru, Kunal Sen Gupta, Urvil Desai, Satya Narayan Dandapani, Cheryl Jennifer Dhanraj, Mohammad Hilmi, Akshit Kumar Jain, and K.N. Sabrish. Participants from row D16, Anand Prasad Moitra, Yogesh Puri, Sri Ram Kumar S, Sufi S. Sahir, Priyanka Vishwas Tambe, and Mervyn Tellis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Evie. Congratulations, everyone. This means that all our graduates have received their certificates from the program chairpersons, with program leadership team. Now, I request all of you to please sit down on your chairs. Take your places, please, again. You are not a graduate until you take the oath. and you have the hat throw ceremony. Please settle down, everybody. In the meantime, I request the dignitaries to please come back on stage. The chief guest, the chairman, and the dean, sir, if you could come back and take your place on the stage, sir. Everybody at the back, please come back and sit down on your chairs. The main part of our ceremony, convocation address, is coming up now. And then, of course, we have the conferment and oath taking and the hat throw, the moment that you've been waiting for. Please settle down. There is lots more entertainment for the evening. There is, of course, food and drink for all of us. But before that, I will now request our chief guest, Dr. Anish Shah, to come here and give the convocation address, sir. Music. Kill the music, please. Yes.
Good evening. Chairman, Mr. Deepak Parekh, and the Governing Council, Dean Varun Nagaraj, and faculty members, parents and families, and of course, the graduating students, the class of 2022. Today is your day. You have accomplished a lot already, because getting into SPJIMR was not easy. It's your experiences, your academic record, your unique skills that enabled you to get admission to this prestigious institution. But you're also a very special batch, as the majority of your 2 years was spent during the pandemic. You had many adversities, various challenges, and you adapted to the circumstances. That made you stronger. And these are some skills that will be very relevant as you go out into the world. You graduate today with the power of this degree and with your aspirations. As you embark the next phase of your journey, my mind wanders back 30 years ago, the time I completed my MBA, and the aspirations and lessons that I learned from my journey over those 30 years. Let's start with dreams. You are never given a wish without also being given the power to make it true. You are never given a wish without also being given the power to make it true. You may have to work for it, however. These are Richard Bach's words from his book, Illusions. They have stayed with me through my journey over 30 years. And I will admit, it took many years for me to fully understand this meaning. To make dreams possible, you have to start with a dream. My dream started taking shape when I was in 8th grade. I know, it sounds a little too early, but I was visiting my cousin and her fiancé at IIM Ahmedabad, and I fell in love with the campus. And I knew that I had to go there. There was a special bond as my parents met on that campus. My father was in the first batch, and my mother was in the second batch, only one of 2 women in that batch. But that was only the first step. The dream was to be the India CEO for a global multinational before the age of 40. It was influenced by my father's career. It led me to seek experiences in the US and eventually return as CEO of GE Capital in India at the age of 39. It was a wish. I realized over time that I had the power to make it true. And you today have the power to make your dreams possible. You may have to work for them, however. As I think about the work I had to put in to make my dream possible, it could be summed up in one word: innovation. What is innovation? For me, it has been the willingness to learn, the determination to keep trying, and the focus on tangible outcomes at both the personal and professional level. Innovation is about the willingness to learn. I'm here today because of everyone who has coached and guided me. My parents, who kept pushing me to do better. My wife, who always reminds me that I should understand people's feelings and build relationships. My sons, who taught me that to get control, you have to give up control. A special person, Anand Mahindra, who has taught me how to bring out the best in people. I'm still learning on that one. And my bosses over the years, who often told me, you're really bad at this. One instance was very early in my career, in my first year at Bain. My manager and I were driving back to the airport after a client meeting. This was Bain in Boston, and the feedback typically there was very direct and often very brutal. And his message was, he said, Anish, you add no value in meetings. You know a lot, but you don't speak much. So where is the value add? And then he gave me a very valuable insight. He said, use the whiteboard as a tool. Your thoughts are structured well. Stand up, take charge of the meeting, structure the meeting. And that helped me tremendously over the years. And even today, I'll often just get up and use the whiteboard and start doodling. There were many such occasions. And I was really bad at lots of things. But very fortunate to have bosses who were direct enough to say it. Their feedback was brutal, but I welcomed it. Because it gave me a chance to improve myself at every stage. And that willingness to learn is what has made me who I am today. Innovation is about determination. Let me share a story when I was a PhD student. I developed a stock exchange game where students played the role of CEOs and stock market traders. This was in 1994. I had to create a computer network that could simulate a stock market or a stock exchange. As a BCom graduate and MBA, I had no coding skills. I had to get books on coding and start learning. And I did that. I spent hours and days and weeks in the computer lab. It didn't work. I would stay up in the lab all night, and I remember at times at 8 a.m. in the morning, finally saying, okay, I will come back this afternoon and going home. But I just did not know how to give up. I just kept at it. The game was created. It was used to teach courses in corporate finance. Students got grades based on how well they played the game. I'm sure all of you would have loved that as well. Professors at Carnegie Mellon came to see it, including the ex-president of the university. And that was a defining moment for me. It taught me that anything is possible. If you're crazy enough to keep trying again and again. Determination. Innovation is about tangible outcomes. At Mahindra, I'm continually amazed by our teams. There is a culture of innovation that stems from our RISE philosophy. It starts with accepting no limits. Our head of automotive product and technology wanted to build an SUV that was better than BMW at the Mahindra Research Valley in Chennai. He created the XUV 700. It is an amazing product. And I must say, it is worthy of comparison with BMW. But I am biased, so I will let each of you test drive and judge whether it is comparable or better than a BMW. What I will say, though, is that vehicle sold 50,000 units in 3 hours, $1 billion in 3 hours, a global record in automotive. Our real estate business, just last month, launched India's first net zero energy residential community, which was sold out in 3 days. But it's not just about products and projects. Over the years, at the start of every role, I would think about what will I leave behind. And as you get into roles, that's something useful to keep in mind. Because when you move out of a role, if you can clearly articulate the value you have created, you have achieved something. But that's not enough. If others can articulate the value you created, then that value is real. And if 3 years later, others can say that this is what he or she created when they were in this role, then you've built a very strong career, if you can do that consistently enough. But innovation alone was not enough. There is another factor that played a key role in my journey, and that's called helping others succeed. Helping others succeed. This was an insight I got early in my career. I was a sales and marketing head for a .com within GE. And for various reasons, we recommended to the CEO of the parent company that this .com had to be shut down. And we would be out of our jobs. So that evening, I called a senior leader from the parent company. I had met him only once, and that too with 20 customers over a dinner, and had a very brief conversation. I really didn't know him, nor did he know me. But his response was amazing. He said, Anish, don't call anyone else. I'm traveling right now. I'm back on Tuesday. You have a role here. I don't know what that role is. We will create something for you, but you're staying here with us. And when I met him on Tuesday, I asked him, I said, I was very surprised because you don't know me. And I did not expect that reaction. And he said, I know you well. You helped many of your peers, and they have been talking about you. This is counterintuitive if you think of career as competition. I can tell you it will result in some painful situations where you feel that you've done the work, but someone else has taken the credit for it. But this is a very powerful approach, and one that has benefited me across various roles. There was one role where, given the culture of that organization, I did not follow these principles. And despite creating some very tangible outcomes, that role did not go very well. But there were many other roles where helping others succeed helped build trust and a high level of collaboration that helped me succeed. I didn't get credit for lots of things I did, but that didn't matter. If others were successful, that was good enough. and that eventually helped me a lot. So in conclusion, I'll leave you with one message. Follow your heart. In all key career decisions, I've followed my heart. And I found that the most important thing was to love the work I did. The people around me, the culture, the environment. As I reflect on my journey, it started with the passion to be someone, to achieve something. And I'm sure all of you have that passion. It has been a lot of hard work and a lot of fun. There were many 100-hour weeks and all-nighters. We moved to a new city every 2 to 3 years on average. And yes, I do feel good about what I've achieved, but what gives me much greater satisfaction is a choice I made many years ago. The choice to spend weekends with family, with my wife and our 2 boys. Today, our boys are now young men, and I feel so glad that I've spent time with them when they were growing up. On most weekdays, they would not see me, but weekends were theirs. And they knew that they had the ability to set my calendar for the weekend exactly how they wanted to set it. That was the most important choice that I made in my life and my career. Each of you will have to find your own balance. Your career is not a race or a competition. Life is much more than that. Make your choices wisely. I wish you the very best in your journey, and may Richard Bach's words always stay with you. You are never given a wish without also being given the power to make it true. You may have to work for it, however. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. Those were very inspiring words, and everybody was spellbound listening to you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming here today. Now, we are nearly at the end of the ceremony. We have the conferment and oath-taking ceremony. Members of the graduating class, all 7 programs, please rise. Request our Dean, Dr. Varun Nagaraj, to come on stage to kindly confer and administer the oath. I just want to remind you all that after the oath is completed, after Dean sir has done the oath with you, and he says thank you, all of you will softly count 1, 2, 3 and take a bow and remain standing, okay?
Before we get all formal, all right. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Chairman, Governing Council of SPJIMR, and in recognition of your having successfully completed all the necessary requirements as conveyed by the faculty, to the participants of the following programs assembled today: FPM, PGPDM, PGPGM, PGMPW, PGPM, PGEMP, and PGDM. I confer on you the certificate of your postgraduate qualification and charge you of conducting yourself in life and in the organization you will work with to always uphold the values and vision of this institute in your thoughts, words, and deeds. With the grace of the Almighty, may you prove worthy of it. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes, graduates, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Okay, let us get ready for the hat throw. The photographers in the video team, are you on your respective positions? Okay, graduates, don't just do it, yes? Let's do a countdown, right? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, that's wonderful. What a moment. Congratulations to all parents present here, spouses, relatives, our corporate partners, and our faculty, staff members. This is the moment that we wait for the entire year. It's a big day for all of us. Let's have a big round of applause. Now, I request everybody to stand so we can have the national anthem. Just a moment. And I request our Dean, Dr. Varun Nagaraj, to declare the closure of this event.
I declare the SPJIMR Convocation 2022 closed. Have fun.
There's plenty of fun planned for this evening. The graduate procession will now retreat. I request all guests to kindly join the procession at the end of the graduating class, coming out from the same aisles as they have earlier walked it. Once outside the venue, you know where you can deposit a gown. It's at the back. You can see on the right-hand side. There are gown counters near the entry gates, your gowns and scarves. Please join us for dinner on the east side of the venue. Students, their families, and our faculty and corporate partners. You may also wish to join the dinner area. For you, it's on the right-hand side over the side. Graduates who are still to collect their documents, please go backstage and do it gradually. You can collect your certificates. Have a nice evening, everybody. The party is going to continue. There is some music coming up on the stage soon after this. So continue to have fun and enjoy the evening. The party is still on. Good night. Dr. Suranjan Das, sir. Sir. Suranjan, sir.